Hello, and welcome back to the next session of Creating Art Over 70 with Science Rufus. We're going to be continuing on the Bonni 2026 charcoal painting. Between the last session and this session, I took the opportunity to really go in and lay in some more of the hair and some of the details. The other session I stopped it because I thought it was getting kind of long, but I still felt like painting some more, and so I went in and added quite a bit of details and darkened the hair so I can get some of the contrast going on because I really want to see the contrast, especially the contrast between the hair and the face here. I want to make sure I got that and understanding that. And what I try to do when I paint is bring up values the same or similar levels of values up as I paint in the piece. Pause for a second. Okay, so anyway, in this session, I'm gonna be working a lot more still in the hair area to try to build up some more of the depth, the darkness and get more of a contrast in between the two, the hair and that. Also, I'm gonna work a little bit more down in this area. The plan is to work in this area a little bit more in this session, and of course, start to try to really fill in to make the earrings start to develop as earrings in this session. I'm gonna try to get that in this session. Also, what I'm gonna be using here in some of the areas is some of the premium charcoal powder because it's when I was using it before the willow charcoal powder, it had a tendency to lay down a little darker. And some areas I want it to lay down a little darker, especially in the hair areas when I go into the hair areas and start to try to lay in some of the subtle details. Um, I'm not gonna paint every hair strand, but I'm gonna get subtle details and let the hair tell the story itself without painting in each and every strand of hair. Um, and I did a lot of heavy work in the mouth area to really try to define it on the off portion. And so I really think I got that well defined. And so now since I have the mouth defined, the nose pretty much defined in place, and also the eyes. I'm not going to touch the glasses until I think pretty late in the piece because I really want to make a decision on how I want to handle them. Do I want them to be more of a lower value color or lower value like closer to white or a larger value closer to the black? I'm not sure. So I'm going to think that through, and so I have this set in place, and so I don't really have to worry about it until I really get into painting it and get into the eye area. So when I start to darken the areas here for to really bring out the 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 the, the darker areas and the lighter areas, the darker values and the lighter values, tonal values. I'm talking here. Um, I'll need to know where I'm going with that at some point. And someone work on that. So anyway, oh, and also I was using my electric sharpener, and then my first mind said, no, try the manual one because I got a manual one and an electric sharpener for my pencils. The manual one will not the diameter hole for the manual ones is limited to a certain diameter of pencil. And one brand of the pastel pencils I use is larger than that diameter. However, the electric sharpener works incredibly well with that brand of pastel pencils. But anyway, I just wanted to share the points I was able to get on the charcoal pencils. I don't know if you can see those relatively well. Here's my hard, here's my mid, and here's my soft. This is my soft, and this is my white. Wow, nice, really nice points. I can get in and get some good detail with that. Makes me happy. Okay, so I'm already geared up. Let's get busy. Bonni 2026 charcoal painting. Thank you so much for watching. Blessings. For me, every painting piece is a learning experience. So the thing about my style, I'm not afraid to try different things. That's why I spent a little bit of time looking into the facial skin texturing. I spent a little time to evaluate it if it was something that I would, one, want to pursue, and two, would be beneficial to my art. And so I've been trying papers for a while, different types of papers, different sets of pencils, defining out of all the different brushes I have and tried. I've down to a few brushes that I use on a regular basis that I wanted to try to do certain things with. Yeah, it's been pretty nice. I've been able to identify, what brush does what with what when I'm using it, which is really, really, truly a blessing. And I think and feeling, in my opinion, it adds an awful lot to your workflow and your capabilities going in, that you know what's going to happen when you lay that stroke on the paper, whatever you have on that brush. Yes, I've pretty much boiled it down to certain papers I'm going to be, when all the rest run out, of course, certain papers I'll use. For one, I really like that Canson paper. That is a really nice paper. And this particular piece, I'm using the Bristol paper again because I really like the Bristol paper. The differences, just from my perspective, is the amount of sheets you get with respect to how much you pay for it. And if you're looking at the quality of the piece on the other side, is, to me, in my opinion, comparable. So, the real simple decision would be just to go with the cost effective, the best value. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop this session here. I think I put in quite a lot of detail all over. Um, what I'm trying to do now is to bring up the tonal values slowly and building the contrast. So what I was putting in here is some of the darker values of the hair, because the hair should be the darkest. Is going to be. I'm trying to get it to be the darkest value of the composition. So in the hair, we'll have the darkest areas of the composition. Well, maybe some in the eye areas also, but in general, the hair. And so I was trying to see how it's going to look. And so what I'm going to try to do here is build in more of the hair coming up so I can see just how much of the tonal values I'll have to bring up in order to really get really nice illumination of the lighting right here in this area. That's all I'm trying to capture is just the lighting right here in this area. Excuse me, maybe a little more in this area here. So anyway, I'm going to end this session here, and we'll come back next session. I'm going to continue on working in on the contrast and bringing up more of the tonal values in the face. And I don't think I'm going to do any more with the clothing. I will probably work a little bit more on the B of the little jewelry here section, and of course the earrings and the eyeglasses. So in the next sessions of Creating Art Over 70 with Sign Rufus. Thank you so much for watching. Blessings.